a lot of these deals are just too big and too important for us to just let go of them, right? And what we've found is basically that the most important things for us or for our team's ability to close these deals is FaceTime. And what better way to do that than to do that in a little bit of a more informal setting, where the way to get FaceTime is not for the sales team to go knock on the door and say, hey, can I come and show you our platform? So we run 4 relatively large events every year, about 150 attendees at each event. This year we did LA in February, Berlin is coming up in June, and then we'll have London and New York for the fall. We always have, I want to say at least 20% of the people at those events are existing customers. And I mean, we do that for, I mean, of course, it's also for our biggest customers. It's really nice to be able to invite them to something like this, right? But I mean, the purpose they also serve, obviously, is that they're much better at selling Pixelz than we are. Don't get me wrong, but when you hear, if our prospects, they hear from existing customers, right? Of course, that's going to be much stronger than if they talk to one of our sales guys. Yeah. And we do that because we do a VIP dinner after the event as well. And that's also always going to be a mix of existing customers and prospects, some partners and Pixelz people. So we have that initial conversation with the sales team. We agree on who they are. And instead of the sales team trying over and over and over to go knock on that door and book that meeting, what we'll do is we'll have someone from the marketing team reach out and say, hey, we have an event coming up. You have such an interesting profile and you have all this great experience. Are you interested in doing a keynote or being on a panel or something else? And if you're not, then you're very welcome as an attendee. So that touch point is a marketing touch point, and it doesn't seem overly salesy, right? Because it's the marketing team reaching out, and we are reaching out with an invitation to an event or asking them to come and speak at our event. So that's just usually it's a little bit of an easier way in to build that relationship and to get that FaceTime than actually have the sales team reach out and do that. It's a lot of money that we put into events. It's a lot of effort. I want to say 2.5 full-time employees who is doing nothing but events, or call it experience marketing, because it's a big part of the ABM program that we are running, right? So it's definitely something that we spend a lot of budget on. And a lot of resources on. And the only way we're able to do that, to prioritize that kind of resources and budget on these events, is if we can prove that it works, right? I think that's also important, right? Don't go into an event and expect to have a positive ROI the month after or even the quarter after, at least not with the type of sales cycles and the customers that we have. It's going to take a while. And with a while, it's going to take 6 to 18 months before we are actually able to judge if we have a positive ROI from some of these events. So just know that and know to have that patience. But that's what enterprise B2B is like. And I mean, it's beautiful because we're already using Dreamdata when we look at Google Ads, LinkedIn Ads, all the other things that we spend a lot of money on, where we have everything in there. We have the ROI, we have everything in there. And now we also have all the data from the events in there. And we are able to, and I think one thing that we couldn't do before in the spreadsheet, obviously, is looking at the different attribution models. Like I said, I don't think it makes sense for this type of owned events to look at first touch or last touch, but I have been playing around with linear and data-driven. And I don't know exactly what goes into the data-driven part, but it makes me happy because the data-driven one actually attributes more value to events than the linear does. And I think that makes sense because I think these events, we know, right? We know that they play a big role in building those relationships and getting that FaceTime. and being able to move a deal forward.